I cannot believe this. As if the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. situation could not get any crazier. Some reports, some rumors, everything is circulating surrounding Vladdy's future in Toronto. He just did something that's a little bit unthinkable. We're going to break down exactly what he did and discuss why it has Jays fans both confused, and some fans out there are very upset at this specific action by Vladdy. We're going to break all it down in this episode, but before we get into it, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Thank you guys for your continued support, as we're, of course, on the road to the big goal of 20,000 subscribers. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and help us hit 17,000, or about 1,000 away from that. But there's a lot to go over today. Now, we obviously know the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. situation has been getting a little bit out of hand prior to, the Jays not extending him a couple days ago. This dropped today, and it has caused a bit of an explosion in Jays Twitter among not only Jays fans, but MLB fans, Yankees fans in this case. And I have the picture up for you here. This is a picture of Vladdy Jr. in a Yankees uniform. And the caption is there a chance that Yankees sign Vladdy? While the odds may be slim, signing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. would solidify the Yankees' first base position for the future. Steve Phillips of MLB Network predicts in the end, they'll have Vladdy and Judge in the middle of the lineup. And it is liked by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. himself. So there's a lot to dissect here, but Vladdy himself liked a post with himself in a Yankees uniform saying that they would be a fantastic fit on the Yankees, which is concerning. It's a little bit wild. And it's honestly just, it's crazy. I don't even know what to say about this. And fans are, they're up in arms a little bit. You can see this here. This has the potential to be the worst season for Jays fans in a very long time. Now, talking Yanks, they came out and said liked by who, and it really has started to blow up. Now, there's a few different things to take from this. One, fans are a little bit upset because we know Vladdy, of course, he said, were the Jays close? No, and he's expected to be a free agent. We know all of that. And this was confirmed, by the way. It was liked by, this was a tweet from someone else. It's obviously, when I go on it, it shows on my Instagram that it shows that he didn't like it. But this guy's Instagram, this tweet was kind of blown up. It shows that he did like it. Now, it's very interesting because he said he's focused on winning this season with the Jays. He's focused on specifically this season itself, being a Toronto Blue Jay, all these different things. He wants to be a Blue Jay for life. He wants to stay with the Jays for life. But in this, your second or third day being on the facility, being in spring training, you go out and you like a post of yourself in a New York Yankees jersey while you're still employed by the Toronto Blue Jays. You're going to be a free agent after this year. And again, you go out and like a post surrounding the New York Yankees. I mean, it is a bit ridiculous, and fans are not happy with Vladdy for this specific thing. Now, I don't really know where I stand on it because reports have also started to come out, and I covered it yesterday, that Vladdy is seeking like a ridiculous ask, and that he said he wants to be a Blue Jay, all these things, but he's seeking like $585 million, which he isn't worth. He knew the Jays front office was not going to give him that amount of money, all these different things. And now it's at the point where you have him asking for an unrealistic, in theory, the rumor is that he asked for an unrealistic amount of money that he knew the front office was never going to give him because he wanted to test free agency, which is fair. It's what Joe Siddall said. It's what a lot of the reporters said was going to happen, simply because he wants to test free agency. And there is still a good chance he returns in free agency. And this isn't to hate on Vladdy, but him liking a post of himself in a Yankees uniform is just a little bit absurd, especially when the caption is all about how good he'd be in a Yankees jersey, all these different things. And we know a couple years ago he said he would never be a Yankee. He just doesn't even want to put on the uniform. But why are you liking posts of yourself in a Yankees uniform when you are on the Blue Jays, you're trying to win this year, you're trying to compete, do all these different things? It's just sending mixed messages. You can see this here from Johnny. Wants to be here, asks for an astronomical price. Focus on the team and no distractions. Like a Photoshop picture of him on other teams. I love the guy, but what are we doing here? And that's the interesting thing. He says he wants no distractions, and he didn't want to be a distraction to his team. That's the whole reason that they set this deadline in the first place. The whole reason that they wanted to set the February 18th deadline, or 17th really, was because they wanted no distractions surrounding Vladimir Guerrero Jr., surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays team. He didn't want to take down any of his, teammates. And this is not necessarily, again, this is just an Instagram post, like some people take less into it, but we knew that as soon as this went public, people were going to be extremely, reactive to this specific incident, because it's not just him liking a post, and he's liked posts before. It's not just him liking a post about, something random. It's him in a Yankees uniform about how he would be a perfect fit. And it's not even that. It's about a report that came out from Steve Phillips, or a prediction from, insider / former front office guy, saying that in the end they'll have Vladdy and Judge in the middle of the lineup. You're going ahead and liking that. And the actual report here / prediction was from Steve Phillips on MLB Network yesterday. He thinks that Yankees will end up with Vladdy. In the end, they'll have Vladdy and Judge in the middle of the lineup. And he basically went on to drop a whole article on TSN about how Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is no longer going to be a Blue Jay. The news about Guerrero hit the Jays camp like a ton of bricks. It had to suck the air out of the clubhouse. A negative vibe overwhelmed the first day of camp. If handled properly, there can be a really aggressive energy that can be used. I genuinely like to have some players in the club in the final year of their contracts. Again, this is a former front office guy. It creates a sense of urgency and motivation for performance. They are playing to get paid. Some players are motivated by it, and some can be paralyzed by overtrying. My sense is that guys like Guerrero, Bichette, Bassett, and Scherzer will be impacted positively. I do worry that Dalton Varsho could get caught up in trying to do too much. The Jays have a chance to compete in the playoffs this season. I think the Jays are talking about all these things, right? So he was thinking about it from a front office perspective, basically saying, hey, for me, it kind of feels like, for Steve Phillips, it might help the Toronto Blue Jays this season, all these different things we'll dive into in a minute. But again, he was the one who came out and said that he thinks that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be a Yankee. And then that comes out. That article dropped yesterday. It gained a ton of traction. And then a tweet, of course, or an Instagram post went out because of that, which makes sense, gaining some more traction. And then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. go ahead and actually likes it. Liked by who? It started to blow up. And I don't know. I think there's no real reason for him to be liking posts of himself in another uniform when he said he wants no distractions. That being said, the Jays could have also got this extension done in 2021, 2022, whenever you wanted to do that. And it's all just cultivated in Jays fans. Like, we're all just, I don't know if sick of it's the word. It just keeps getting crazier. And again, he did like this post. There were some people saying that he didn't. He definitely did. And it's, I don't know how I'd feel as well if I'm like Vladdy's teammate at this point and you're liking posts of yourself in a Yankees uniform. There's also the conversation to be had about him being traded at the upcoming deadline. There's just a lot of different things. It's going to be an absolutely interesting, one of the more interesting off seasons that we've, or spring trainings. That it has been one of the more interesting off seasons we've ever had. But it's going to be an extremely interesting, of course, spring training because you have the whole talk of the town being about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Once the season starts, the talk is still going to remain Vlad Guerrero Jr. Once trade deadline comes, is Vladdy, is Bo going to get traded? Are a lot of these guys on one-year deals or have 1 year left in their contract? And Chris Bassett, 1 year deal, and Max Scherzer, are they going to be traded? And then you have him liking Instagram posts. Let me know down below. Do you think this is a big deal, or do you think that people are overreacting a little bit to the fact that he liked an Instagram post? Usually, I'm on the side of overreacting because it doesn't matter. Like, I think people tend to overreact to when people, athletes like, and they can do whatever they want on Instagram. However, when you're liking yourself in an opposing team's uniform, quoting a report from a former front office guy predicting that he will end up in New York, when you're trying to just say that you want no distractions, and that's why you asked for this whole deadline to begin with, is a little bit interesting. And when your asking price was a bit astronomical. It's interesting. We're going to keep you up to date on this whole situation, as well as, the Jays start to play. They play on Saturday, so it's going to be exciting to see baseball back, but it's tainted a little bit by these ridiculous things that keep happening with the Toronto Blue Jays. It is what it is. It's going to be a very long season when it comes to this specific topic, but we'll keep you up to date all off season long and all regular season long as it starts in about a month. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.